Welcome everyone to the 28th annual and our very first virtual Filipino Fiesta and Flores de Mayo and our Pasko at Philcom celebration. I'm Venus Viloria and this is Brian Munoz. We are the voice of your community at KNDI Radio and we are so happy to be here.
Thanks, Ate V. Yes, it's great to be here. In the midst of such turbulent and uncertain times, we are thankful that the Philcom Center continued this important celebration of our people. Today, we will honor the culture, the food, and diverse array of talent of the Filipino American community. We know you will enjoy this show.
The Filipino Community Center is the largest Filipino community center outside the Philippines and has been a gathering place for our people in Hawaii for nearly 20 years. Last year's fiesta was in Kaka'ako. That was awesome. And I know they were planning to bring it home to the Philcom in Waipahu this year. But here we are, and we appreciate everyone for joining.
Let's start tonight's program with the Philippine National Anthem, sung by Philcom's longtime supporter, Pike Velasco. Pike is a retired school principal and music coordinator in the Philippines and currently a teacher at August Aarons Elementary. He is the music and artistic director of Philcom, conductor of the Himig at Indak Choir, Banda Kawayan, and the Children's Choir. We also have a special message from Consul General of the Philippines, Ambassador Jose Lito Jimeno.
Oyang magiliw, pearls ng silanganan, alab ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulubig, di ka pa sisiil. Sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bukaw, may nilagang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagniningning. Ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidilim. Lupa ng araw na luwalhatit pagsinta, buhay ay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pag may mga api ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Good day. On behalf of the officers and staff, the Philippine Consulate General in Honolulu, I am pleased to join today's festivities of the Filipino Community Center's virtual Filipino Fiesta and Pasko sa Philcom. The year 2020 has been unprecedented and transformative. COVID-19, which came like a silent storm late last year, is now raging across borders, bringing illness and claiming millions of lives. The pandemic has forced humanity to live under our current new normal, one in which it seems we will be in for the long haul unless a vaccine is made available. Despite the challenges of the current health situation, the pandemic has brought forth blessings and positive realizations. Here in Hawaii, even as the Filipino community accounts for the second highest number of infections, we recognize the important role that the dedicated members of our community play as frontliners and essential workers in key industries that help keep the state's economy afloat. In the true spirit of the Filipinos' resilient character, Bayanihan has remained alive in people's acts of kindness, volunteerism to reach out and help those in need in these difficult times. We have learned to see things in a different light, and we have learned what truly matters: family, time, service, compassion, and understanding. It is time when personal connections are more challenging. We have learned to make the most of technology to keep in touch and establish links. With Christmas just around the corner, the yearning to connect with loved ones becomes even stronger. As we all know, the Yuletide festivities figure very prominently in Philippine culture and tradition. It is a time for reunions with family and loved ones, reminiscing good times and envisioning the year ahead. Fun and games, and of course, gatherings around a well prepared feast. While Christmas will be different this year, I am pleased that the Filipino Community Center has taken the initiative to pursue the Filipino Fiesta and Pasko sa Philcom, albeit through a virtual platform. I take this opportunity to thank the Filipino Community Center for spearheading this community event. Celebrations such as these give us hope and restore the belief that there will be better days ahead. True to being the rainbow state that it is, I am confident that in Hawaii, the rainbow will come again after the rain. We just have to persevere, be more patient and understanding, and continue to take the necessary precautions to ensure our and our loved ones' health and well-being. I wish everyone a memorable, enjoyable time at this year's virtual Filipino Fiesta and Pasko sa Philcom, which I am pleased to declare open. Thank you and mabuhay. Marami pong salamat.
Salamat po, Pike and Ambassador. What a great way to start this off. We also want to thank all of our sponsors and especially our two title gold sponsors, Hawaiian Electric Industries and Central Pacific Bank Foundation. We wouldn't be able to put on this event and future events like this without your consistent support. Here is a video message from Hawaiian Electric Industries.
The beauty we plant today is the legacy we pass on to our children. It is how a moment becomes a movement, and how a single tree becomes a forest. Join Project Footprint as we give back to the Aina by planting thousands of native trees. Together, we can reduce our carbon footprint and lead Hawaii to a bright, sustainable future. Plant your legacy at projectfootprint.com.
Thank you so much. Wow, it is really cool to see how Hawaii is leading the nation in the effort to get 100% renewable energy by 2045. And of course, HEI is leading the way. Shout out to our friend and Pare, AJ Halagao, and his team for their support.
Okay, who is ready for some music? Our first performer is Nicole Yuson. She is a college student studying and learning Tagalog. Wow! From the Philcom Board of Director, Imelda Gasmin, and will be playing Ang Pipit on the violin. This is a traditional Filipino folk song.
Kumusta po kayo? Ako si Nicole Yuzan na taga Maui, and I will be playing Ang Pipit. Maraming salamat po.
That was amazing. Thank you, Nicole.
Again, we want to take some time to thank our sponsors, and we have two messages from our friends at Kamehameha Schools.
What do I want to be when I grow up? When I grow up, I want to be a teacher. When I grow up, I want to be like my dad. When I grow up, I want to be a rock star. I want to learn more about hula and stuff like that.
I want to sound the ukulele one day.
When I grow up, I want to be an architect, but I also want to grow my own food. I really want to go to college, like one of the good colleges.
I want to travel the world. I want to learn more about my genealogy.
I want to continue to learn about our culture as Hawaiians.
I want to save the world. But I want to study sustainability so I can come back home.
I want to see a thriving Lahui.
I want to see my kids graduate.
I want to use science as a way to malama'aina.
I want to see more of our families struggling less on a day-to-day basis. I want to think about, like, what's the biggest contribution I can make?
I want to leave a legacy as someone that inspired others to do their best. There's so much more to be gained out of looking at how an entire people rising can be strong and powerful for not only Hawaii, but for the world.
I want our native Hawaiian people to feel proud.
I want to be the best grandma that I can be.
I want our keiki to continue Pauahi's legacy.
My gratitude runs deep. It's in my heart. I want to go back and do it all over again.
Great video. Thanks and mahalo to Michelle Swartman and her team, and Kamehameha for the long-time support. Next up, we have our first cooking demonstration by Chef Rinaldo Romero, owner of Cineblan, also known as Cools in Catering. As one of the 2 approved caterers at Philcom, they have fed our community and for years, and even made the bentos that were sold today for our fiesta. Today, they are going to share one of their secret recipes for braised beef. Ladies and gentlemen, Chef Rinaldo Romero of Cools and Catering.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Reynaldo. I am the executive chef of Cools in Catering by Cineblan, one of the approved or rather exclusive caterers at the Filipino Community Center. In the observance of Filipino Fiesta, we were requested by our Chief Executive Officer, Attorney Tony Juan, to present one of the menu that we have selected this braised beef because of its timely versatility with this unprecedented pandemic that we have been experiencing. I would like to emphasize this. And it will be mixed. After mixing this marinade properly, okay, I have to soak in this clod. It will stay inside the refrigerator for at least an hour. After marinating, it's ready for the searing process already. 3 minutes inside. Okay. Little ready the pot inside. Now I have to close it. Okay. And set the temperature at 325 degrees, and it will be cooked for the next 3 hours. In between those, the 3 hours, it should be checked occasionally for dampness. Quickly stir frying the vegetables. Vegetables is ready, cooked already, such that we shall be and we are done with the dish. Our world famous blonde braised beef.
Wow! That looks delicious, and I'm definitely getting hungry and cannot wait for lunch. Next up, we have another sponsor video from our friend at Philippine Airlines, followed by song from Joel Tolentino, owner of JT Sounds, a talented performing artist and musical event planner.
Inabunak ti Filipino nayanakak iti Hawaii idadakkel ko ken kaarubak Filipino da anapeklan di makelak iti langen ti ginasut akapulyan narway a kultura ken pagsasao amok amin ida apakibagayan. Oh yes, I'm proud to be a Filipino. Dayaw kayo manggi kanayon nga itanok ko. But I am proud to be a Filipino. Iti aramid panunod ken panaon naurnos na ta panagkadua iktihem tinagkapuam verdadero ka a Filipino tara nakati natakneng akapulyan no ibain mo kina Filipino sa sinuka na tamed nga runyay ambo da kamed lang ata nga isakit dagiti puli adi mo kadaraan. Oh yes, I'm proud to be a Filipino. Dayaw kayo manggi, kanayon nga itanok ko. Because I'm proud to be a Filipino. Iti aramid, panunod ken panao. Ibain mo't kina Filipino sa sinuka na tamen nga rungay. Amuda kamen lang ata nga isakit, dagiti puli adi mo kadaraan. Oh yes, I'm proud to be a Filipino. Dayaw kayo manggi, kanayon nga itanok ko. But I am proud to be a Filipino. Iti aramid, panunod ken panao. Iti aramid, panunod ken panao.
Special thanks to Sol Soleza at Philippine Airlines for their longtime support of Philcom and for donating 2 round-trip tickets to the Philippines. Thanks again. We can't wait to travel to the Philippines when it is safe. And how about that dude, Joel? He can sing. How was his dance? He started dancing a little too, right? How fun. Next up, we have a message from our silver sponsors, Kaiser Permanente.
Mabuhay! I am Chris House, Chief Sales and Marketing Officer for Kaiser Permanente Hawaii. I also have the honor of serving on the Board of Governors of the Philcom Center. Kaiser Permanente is a proud sponsor of the 28th Annual Fiesta and Celebration, and we are so pleased to support the Philcom Center's mission to uplift the Filipino community and perpetuate Filipino culture throughout all of Hawaii. Who would have expected that we would not be able to get together in person today, or that the terrible impact of COVID-19 has had on our economy and our community? At Kaiser Permanente, we have served the Hawaii community for over 60 years through good times and bad, and we stand together with you again to weather the pandemic crisis. In addition to supporting food and housing COVID relief programs, my own team has volunteered over the past many weekends to distribute over 247,000 pounds of food to hotel and visitor industry workers, providing meals to over 5,800 island homes. In addition to pandemic relief, we are making big investments in our community and helping in many other ways. We know that Leeward Oahu is a growing community, and we are growing with you. I'm pleased to announce that our brand new state-of-the-art 40,000 square foot facility in West Oahu will be open in April of next year, providing the next generation of care to the people living on the west side. At the end of the day, this is my community, and I am personally committed to doing everything I can to help our community during this difficult time. On behalf of everyone at Kaiser Permanente Hawaii, thank you for tuning in to today's event.
Thank you, Chris and Kaiser Permanente, for your longtime support of Philcom. This year, we also wanted to celebrate Christmas. Since we couldn't hold our normal Pasko sa Philcom event, we have a longtime supporter, Raymond Leongson, showing us how to make a parol. He is a retired professor in the Asian Studies Department at Leeward Community College with over 40 years of experience in education. And for those who don't know, what is parol? A parol is an ornamental star-shaped Christmas lantern from the Philippines. It is traditionally made out of bamboo and paper, and it comes in various sizes and shapes, but generally, the basic star pattern remains dominant. And you know, Brian, the design of the parole evokes the Star of Bethlehem that guided the three kings to the manger. It is also symbolizes the victory of light over darkness and the Filipinos' hope and goodwill during the Christmas season.
The word parol is derived from the Spanish word farol, meaning lantern. In the Philippines, the parol has become an iconic symbol of the Filipino Christmas and is an important to the Filipino as the Christmas tree is to the Western cultures. Its annual debut on houses and streets is usually in September, along with Christmas symbols signaling the coming of the season. I know Raymond spent a lot of time on this demonstration, which we had to edit down to a few minutes due to time constraints. Take it away, Raymond!
Wow, that was really cool. Salamat po and hey, Merry Christmas, Raymond. We also want to thank our other sponsors who contributed. Silver sponsor, thank you so much. Kaiser Permanente, Island Insurance Foundation, Bank of Hawaii, Alakay Executive Search, Philippine Airlines, Dave and Mary Hinan, Marty Steele, and thank you also to our bronze sponsor, Agnes Reyes.
We want to encourage our audience to please go to the Philcom website and hit that donate button. Every dollar counts and we really need all of your support. Maraming salamat po. Alright, thank you everyone. Let's keep this show moving. We know we have a lot of talented Filipinos out there, and this guy is one of them. Patricio Ginelsa produced this movie, a new movie called Lumpia TV with a Vengeance. Here he is with a special preview of his film, showing that exclusively for the Hawaii International Film Festival.
Aloha! Mabuhay, Hawaii! What's up, Filipino Fiesta? My name is Patricio Janelsa, and I'd like to invite you all to the premiere of my new movie, Lumpia with a Vengeance, playing over at the 40th edition of the Hawaii International Film Festival. Spend a few hours with us, laughing and enjoying this delicious comedy together. You can catch it actually this Thursday night over at the Ala Moana Drive-In. And starting on November 16th, you can actually watch the movie online, virtually, right there on your own TV. But tickets are limited, so you want to hurry and grab your tickets now before they sell out. And for each ticket that you buy with the Lumpia the movie, you actually get a free digital copy of our Lumpia movie comic book. Yes. And if you want the metallic variant print edition here, head over to our website, lumpiamovie.com. And there you can find out all information, other merch and things like this t-shirt I'm wearing. So what's Lumpia with a Vengeance all about? Well, here's a look at the trailer. So enjoy and love that lumpia!
Kamusta kababayan ko? All my sexy panoys and panais.
Welcome to Fogtown, where over 60% of the population is Filipino.
Can you confirm that the restaurant incident is the work of the so-called taquito man?
What? This is the taquito everyone is talking about? It's not a taquito.
It's lumpia, the Filipino egg roll. The motives of the lumpia man are still unknown.
Lumpia man knows we're selling out of Fogtown High.
What'd I tell you about these kids?
Love that. Lumpia! And love that. Lumpia! And love.
Your sniper took down the mayor as planned.
My henchmen are trained to be 100% efficient.
Is that the egg roll man?
No, it ain't him.
Go, 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 go! Hey, you can't eat that! Remember me? You're my hero!
Now's not the time to change the plan.
What plan?
What the?
Please tell me you're a good guy.
It's too Filipino!
It's like soy sauce and salsa getting married.
Armor together and harmony! Screw your mama's wedding. Fight the bully! You're all wrong! It's all because of this damn Lumpia man.
It took this long for me to find you. I'm not about to lose you, baby. You can be sure I'll love you forever.
No more! Fogtown will remember me! Taquito Boy!
Wow, that looks like a great flick. I want to see that one. So, cool to see Pinoys doing good things, yeah? Out there. Next up, we'll have a brief message from our friends at Hawaiian Electric Industries, one of this year's gold title sponsors, along with the Central Pacific Bank Foundation.
The beauty we plant today is the legacy we pass on to our children. It is how a moment becomes a movement, and how a single tree becomes a forest. Join Project Footprint as we give back to the Aina by planting thousands of native trees. Together, we can reduce our carbon footprint and lead Hawaii to a bright, sustainable future. Plant your legacy at projectfootprint.com.
Next up, we have a COVID safety message from Kaiser Permanente, followed by another cooking video demonstration by Jason Takemura, owner and executive chef of Bamboo Catering, the second approved caterer for the Philcom Center.
As we reopen Hawaii's economy, it may seem like we don't need to worry about COVID-19 anymore, that it's a thing of the past. Unfortunately, this is not the case. This virus is still very much with us. That's why we need to be mindful as we increase our interaction so that we can continue to protect each other. How do we do this? Well, we can continue to wear masks and avoid touching our faces. This will limit the amount of virus that lands on our nose and our mouth. We also know that the virus spreads between people who are in close contact with each other. So if you can, avoid large gatherings and maintain distance when you're out and about. Lastly, an oldie but goodie. Keep washing your hands frequently. When you're out in public, you can use hand sanitizer, especially after touching things like doors, tables, and gas pumps. This will limit the amount of virus that can stay on your hands. Doing all of these things together will decrease your chances of getting and spreading the virus. Let's stay cautious, and together, we can prevent the spread of COVID-19 in Hawaii.
Aloha, my name is Jason Takemura, chef owner of Bamboo Catering. Thank you for joining us today with the Philcom's first ever virtual Fiesta fundraiser. Today I'm going to demo our version of how we do lechon kawali. A little bit different than the traditional, but definitely coming out with the same results. First, we're going to take a piece of pork belly, skin on. Skin is the most important part, so when you fry it, get that crispy skin that everyone likes. What we're going to do is we're going to cook this thing overnight. So we're going to cook it in a water bath in a bag, which most of you guys are going to think is pretty crazy sounding, but I'll show you how we do this. I'm going to cut this down into a couple of strips first. Alright. Next I'm going to poke some holes in the skin. So we have this device here which is called a jacquard, and basically when we push down it has a bunch of needles and pokes holes, and so we'll be poking holes to score the skin. I want to poke holes in the skin, but I don't want to go through the fat. We're going to come back and do this again later after we cook it, right before we fry it. Okay. Next we're just going to season our pork. I got some regular kosher salt. And then I'm gonna put just a little bit of shoyu on there, just to add a little bit of flavor while we cook it. Okay, cover that up. Now we have a bag. Nice plastic bag that works with our vacuum sealer. Stick all the pork in. Okay, now that we have our pork in the bag, we're gonna add whole peppercorns, black peppercorns, and a few bay leaves. Just to add some of that flavor in there as we cook it overnight. Okay, now we're gonna take it over to our vacuum sealer. Time to let this guy do its work. Alright, so here we have our vacuum sealed pork belly with the seasoning. Very important that there's no air in this bag. Okay, so I want to make sure when I put it in the water that it will not float. It'll stay submerged. Okay, so we just drop it in. This is just plain water. This here is called a circulator. This circulator will control the water temp up to basically 1/10 of a degree, so very specific on the temperature of the water. And we're going to keep this in here for 24 hours, and we'll come back and check it out in the morning. 24 hours later, we take our sous vide pork belly out of the hot water bath and we submerge it in ice water, and that's going to immediately cool it down. If you leave it in there for maybe an hour, it'll start to make everything cold, and when the liquid gets cold, it kind of turns really gelatinous. And so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our pork belly out, and we're gonna have to we're gonna take off all the gelatin. Okay, so basically just take your hands, everything comes right off, just like Jello. And we're gonna basically clean this off. We want this thing to be completely dry, is what we want. Now our next job is to dry out the skin so that when we fry it, it'll come nice and crispy. Okay, so we'll get this nice and dry. Okay, so now we're going to take our jacquard. Again, poke holes in the skin, trying not to go deep into the fat, just through the layer of skin. So I would say maybe about a half a centimeter or so. We want to pat dry best we can. And now we're going to take salt, and we're just going to salt the skin. I don't want to salt the meat. I don't want the meat to get salty. But what the salt is going to do on the skin is it's going to draw all the liquid out through the skin of the holes we just poked. We're going to put this in the refrigerator overnight, uncovered, and doesn't have to go overnight. Maybe at least 4 hours would be good. Overnight would be best. And draw more moisture out of the skin, and then we'll come back again. All right, so now we got our pork. It's been sitting uncovered in the refrigerator with salt on the skin. We're gonna take it off. We do not wanna rinse this. We do not wanna add any moisture back to the pork. We're just gonna take a paper towel, brush off all the excess seasoning. And now basically this pork is ready to go. So if you were doing a party at home, you can get it to this point a day before, 2 days before, whatever you want. Get it to right here. And now as you're ready to eat, or before you're ready to serve, we're just gonna take it over to our fryer. Okay, so we're gonna fry this for about, at least I would say about 5 minutes, 375 degrees. What we wanna do is, we just need to remember this pork is cold. So now we're gonna make the tomato onion sauce. So first I'm gonna take some shoyu, a little bit of fish sauce, apple cider vinegar, and a little bit of fresh squeezed lemon juice. Okay, to that I'm gonna add some diced tomatoes, diced round onion, and some green onion. Give this a stir. If you like it spicy, I would add a little bit of chili flakes in here right now at this time. If not, this is good to go. Cover this, put it in the refrigerator for, I would say, a good half an hour. Let the flavors marry. And when our pork is done, ready to serve. All right, so we're taking the pork belly out of the fryer after about 5 minutes. And now we're ready to slice. Alright, we just plate this up on our plate. Get some of our tomato onion. Then on the top with some sauce. And just some pea tendrils for garnish. Right? This is our version of lechon kawali. I hope you enjoyed it. And again, thank you for supporting Philcom's first virtual fiesta. And see you later.
Wow, that looked absolutely delicious. Mahalo, Jason. Next, we want to thank our friends at Kamehameha Schools, again followed by a brief video from one of our members, Issy Henan.
What do I want to be when I grow up? When I grow up, I want to be a teacher. When I grow up, I want to be like my dad. When I grow up, I want to be a rock star. I want to learn more about hula and stuff like that.
I want to sell on the ukulele one day.
When I grow up, I want to be an architect, but I also want to grow my own food. I really want to go to college, like one of the good colleges.
I want to travel the world. I want to learn more about my genealogy.
I want to continue to learn about our culture as Hawaiians.
I want to save the world.
but I want to study sustainability so I can come back home.
I want to see a thriving Lahui.
I want to see my kids graduate.
I want to use science as a way to malamaaina.
I want to see more of our families struggling less on a day-to-day basis. I want to think about like, what's the biggest contribution I can make?
I want to leave a legacy as someone that inspired others to do their best. There's so much more to be gained out of looking at how an entire people rising can be strong and powerful for not only Hawaii, but for the world.
I want our native Hawaiian people to feel proud.
I want to be the best grandma that I can be.
I want our keiki to continue Pauahi's legacy.
My gratitude runs deep. It's in my heart. I want to go back and do it all over again.
That was awesome, Issei, rocking his Filipino jacket and grooving to the Black Eyed Peas. We want to thank our friends at Philippine Airlines once again.
We hope you all enjoy our very first virtual fiesta, Flores de Mayo and Pasko celebration. We appreciate everyone's support in the community and of course our sponsors.
Tidal Gold, Hawaiian Electric Industries, Central Pacific Bank Foundation.
We have silver sponsor, thank you Kaiser Permanente, Island Insurance Foundation, Bank of Hawaii, Alakai, Executive Search, and Philippine Airlines. Thank you to Dave and Neri Hinan, Marty Still,
Bronze sponsor, Agnes Reyes.
Thank you also to our video editors, Tyler and Malia Ben. Great job! Please enjoy the rest of your weekend. And wear your mask and stay safe, everyone. May good health and happiness be with you always. Mabuhay and God bless!